We're back.
We're back.
comiXology live.
I'm basically made of sugar right now, but not in a like, oh, you're so sweet way. More like in a, I'm about to die of malnutrition kind of way.
You win some, you lose some. comiXology live. Every week we get together to talk about the books that we read, the books that are out this week, the books we want you to try to read. You know?
Yeah.
Because we want to help.
It's a confusing, scary world out there.
In more ways than one.
Yeah.
Let me just say one thing, real quick. Book of the year.
Oh God.
I don't toss around the phrase "book of the year."
Yes, you do. Literally every week you have a
willy-nilly.
book of the year. Whatever happened to someone is going to tell Black Hammer that you said it about another book, and then they're going to ban you from reading Black Hammer. I'm going to call Jeff Lemire now.
Jeff Lemire, I know you're watching.
Hi, Brandon.
I know Jeff Lemire's watching right now. Don't ban me from Black Hammer.
I'm calling him up right now.
Boop beep boop beep boop beep boop. Book of the year right now. Right meow.
Oh my God.
This is it. Single issue of the year. Get the Eisers on the horn. Captain America 695. Single issue of the year.
Explain to our readers why they should put aside their apprehension at a very high number and pick up number 695 of a book.
This is, maybe you're going through the comic shop and you're getting like scared because you see this big 695.
Yeah.
Well, up top, Marvel Legacy. It says Part 1 right here. So you're like, okay, maybe it's 695. It says Part 1. Maybe I'll give it a shot.
Who's creative team on this book?
Chris Somney.
Oh, like him.
Legend.
Yeah.
Mark Waid. You ever heard of a colorist by the name of Matt Wilson?
Perfect, precious, wonderful Nobel Peace Prize
winning. We'll get the intern on to confirm that. But Captain America, he's been through the ringer.
Thank you, Miguel.
In more ways than one. The comics fans at large maybe aren't a big fan of Captain America last year.
He's made some controversial moves,
to say the least. And so we got the creative team of Daredevil, the creative team of Black Widow, together to try to set things straight. And it's a one-off issue. It's not like it's the beginning of a big story for Captain America, but it's a single issue that stands on its own. He has a memory to when he first came out of the ice and he goes to this small town and encounters a terrorist attack. They say like 10 years ago. So like they try to keep it kind of in modern day. And the town was like so smitten with Captain America, they renamed the name of the town to Captain America Town or whatever. Oh. So he's back in this town post-Secret Empire. Pretty much, if you didn't read it, all you need to know is...
Spoilers.
Something bad happened with Cap, and his reputation is tarnished, and he's trying to make it right.
So he's no longer
evil.
In the throes of that.
The bad guys.
Right.
So he comes back to this town after all these years, and they're in trouble again. And it's like Captain America Day in this town. So he walks in and they're having like costume contest.
Aww.
And they're selling all this like paraphernalia. And people think he's cosplaying as Captain America, as Steve Rogers.
Everyone likes your shirt.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So the gist is you fall in love with Captain America again because all the people he saved 10 years ago are making speeches at Captain America Day about what Captain America means to them and why he's important and what he stands for. I was like crying reading this issue.
So this is like Damage Control a little bit. Yeah.
Damage Control, Book of the Year.
I love Somni and Wilson together. I think that they're just so good at the visual storytelling. They're so good at the tone and the mood. Because, I'm looking at this book, and it's not exactly like Daredevil or it's not exactly like Black Widow. Like, it has a style that's really distinctly Captain America. It has, like, kind of a vintage palette. It just, but you still recognize it as Wilson and Somni.
Right.
So I just am so impressed with how they're able to like be really specific to the character and to the book, but still be really recognizable.
Go buy this book right now.
Yeah.
Don't shut off the stream. Let the stream run. Tell your friends to start the stream up.
Open a new tab.
And go get it.
Yeah.
What did you read?
Okay. So, comiXology comiXology got this a few weeks ago, and I wrote a review of it for the Mary Sue. This is Spiritus #2 that comes out from Vault Comics, and the print got a little off, which happens sometimes. In any case, it's out now in print, and we still have it, and we have had it, so you could get it. Yeah. So first of all, like, Vault Comics is killing it. Like, the paper is so thick and it just feels so quality.
It's like you could kill a man with that book.
Like, the spine cracks like a real book when you open it. It just feels so luxurious. And it's beautifully designed, and the artwork and the colors are stunning. The creative team on this book is... Oh gosh, where did they hide their... Here we go. Tim Daniel does the writing and the design. Michael Kennedy does the covers and the art. And Lauren Norby does the lettering. If you read my review on Mary Sue, I talk about the lettering and how important it is in this book. It's about this woman who, she's in the future where instead of putting you to death if you commit a capital crime, instead they, like, transfer your consciousness to a basically like a slave labor robot. So I actually think that's worse than being put to death, because like then you just like are a slave forever. And so she's approached with this deal where they're going to put her into a robot body that's kind of been like hacked or cracked somehow, so that she'll be in a robot body, but she'll still have like autonomy. But she has to escape from the facility. And she's like involved with these gangsters. And so in number one, she gets put into the robot body. And then in number 2, she is trying to escape the facility. And my favorite part, there's this like scene that is like right out of The Fugitive, you know, where he's like, I didn't kill my wife. I don't care. And then he jumps off of, you know, I'm not, you know, that's a great...
I know that scene because The Simpsons parodied it. I saw that on The Simpsons before I ever saw it on The Fugitive.
Oh, wait, we got to catch up on some of these questions before they go away from our black T-shirts.
Do you read the Charmed comics?
I have read some of the Charmed comics, yes. And
Michael wants to know... Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no. I think that if you're a fan of the show, they're a great extension of that. Yeah, what else we have here?
Michael wants to know if we will review his series Dark Beach. Michael, I'll review any series for a bag of fiery hot Cheetos. That's you send us a bag.
Excuse you, but like, where is your journalistic integrity?
I'm not a journalist, so I don't need to worry about that. I'm just a rando comic fan.
Make sure that when you eat the flaming hot Cheetos, you're not reading the comic at the same time.
So, yeah, it's true. I mean, I bent back a page while I was talking about Cap. Some people watched his feet, probably fell over.
Yeah.
Feet in the air. You know, speaking of fiery hot Cheetos, I got a word from the inside. Remember I had those extra fiery hot Cheetos? Did you watch that video I made of those?
No.
Well, they're, like, rare. It's, like, you know, double the hot.
Oh, okay.
I heard that Target or Walmart on the East Coast sells them. Not just in Seattle.
West Coast equals best coast.
You know? I got a man on the inside.
What else did you read?
Tia, so just want to hear about my dumb Cheeto jokes. Extremity.
Brandon watched your video.
Thank you, Brandon. Extremity.
Everyone at Comic-Con was like, why are you not reading Extremity? You need to read Extremity. Have you read Extremity? Extremity is great. I love Extremity.
I will agree with everything about that. I read the first issue or 2 of Extremity like last month.
Yeah, me too.
And I loved it. And I was like, why aren't more people talking about this? This guy like pretty much does the whole book. Daniel Warren Johnson.
What's the pitch? What's the concept?
The pitch is the future, kind of like warring clans, warring families, where something's happened on the planet and pieces of the planet kind of go up into the air, kind of like an Avatar, the greatest movie of all time.
Oh my god.
And so you have these warring clans, and the bad guy clans have kind of been winning over the last several decades. And you follow this one family who has been hit pretty hard by the warring clan. The lead character, Thea, was an artist growing up. And the Warren clan came to enact revenge on her family, and they cut off her hand.
Yeah, it was really sad.
It's super sad. So she's kind of dealing with the fact that she thought she was going to be this artist in the clan, and she lost her arm. And her brother in the family was billed to be the next great leader, but he's kind of like a pacifist. He doesn't want to be the big leader. So now they're thrust into this war with their father that they kind of don't want to be a part of. And it just takes place in this beautiful, futuristic, sci-fi. I mean, look at the size of this monster.
Mike Spicer coloring.
Mike Spicer coloring.
Mm-hmm.
This book
Doesn't he also do Shirtless Bear Fighter?
If not, he should. I mean, I love Shirtless Bear Fighter. You need to read Extremity.
Yeah.
I feel like this book is under the radar, like way more than it is.
I would agree with that. I mean, the title is like Extremity, and she gets her arm cut off.
There's a lot of
layers.
violence.
And violence.
There's like Game of Thrones level violence in here. It's like a Game of Thrones-esque, but really just following the one family. Daniel Warren Johnson, this guy's an icon. Daniel, I know you're watching.
Daniel, call
Let's talk. Let's get some fiery hot Cheetos together.
Daniel's calling me.
Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. But you need to be reading Extremity, please.
Yes. It's just so beautiful. It's like such the world building that's done with like the background scenes and the little details of the world are just you'll spend so much time looking at all of the little background things and just kind of getting lost in the world.
Yeah, there was a vertical 2-page spread. I think the issue before. You don't really see vertical 2-page spreads anymore, but it was something else.
Yeah. Let me tell you, the digital editors at comiXology, we have to take special care when we get stuff like that so that the readers, reading in guided view don't see it sideways.
Sure.
Yeah.
You don't want any creators knocking on our doors being like, what's up? With this vertical 2-page spread.
There was an issue of, I want to say, Stumptown, where they're like in a car chase, and the panels go, like, if you're holding the comic book, you're supposed to like turn it like you're driving a car. And
really?
That was a very challenging guided view. Oh, Mikey wants to see my phone case.
Mikey P.
It's Alien versus Predator. I love them.
Who doesn't?
I mean, I'm actually more Team Alien. It's very three-dimensional and very sparkly.
I heard they're making a new Predator movie. The guy that directed Iron Man 3, Shane Black.
I'd be fine with that. My favorite Predator story is one of the older comics where the woman like joins the Predators and she has to like prove her worth. They kind of do the like thing in in the horrible movie where remember where they like almost kiss?
No, the Predators almost kiss.
No, the Predator and this woman.
That was in a movie? Maybe that was Predators or AVP?
Yeah, I think it was AVP.
I went to see that in theaters.
Because she like helps rescue the she like helps them not get killed by the alien, and
who wouldn't want to kiss a predator? Like this is like coming at your face. You're like, yeah, kiss me.
I am horrified by the number of hand puppet kiss simulators we've done on this show.
I mean, just imagine this coming into your face, and you're
but it
in
like
love.
opens. It's more of like a.
Well, maybe they're like laughing when they're coming in for the kiss, like. Rah, 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 rah. Well, they don't even speak. Don't they just like repeat audible things that they record? Like remember when they recorded Arnold in the first movie? Mm-hmm. Did you read anything else?
I did. I read number 1 with a bullet. It's very bright and colorful, and this is by Jacob. How would we say that? Simon?
Yep.
Simon. Jacob, if I said it wrong, I'm sorry. Please angrily tweet at me, and I'll apologize. I'm pretty sure it's Simon. Jacob Simon, George Corona, Jen Hickman, Steve Wands. So basically, it's so brightly colored, like almost distractingly so. And I'm pretty sure that's on purpose because this is a world in which everything is like about screens and about virtual reality and about the sort of invasiveness of that kind of technology on our lives and how it invades our privacy and really blurs our personal boundaries between one another and between like our public and private lives. And I have to be honest, at first I was like, oh, is this going to be another, like, oh, millennials are always on their phones. But it's really, it's not that at all. It's so much more, like, thoughtful in that kind of critique, and it's really smart. And I think that there's a really neat essay in the back where they just are sort of talking about what was making them think of these things, like the kind of harassment and bullying that people experience online, and what if there were even more technological ways that people could be invasive in your life, like contacts that record things, that record what you see, that record what you think, like what you see in your mind even. And then like, what if those files got hacked and leaked on the internet or something, and how that would impact your life. So, yeah. It was a really interesting one. I like it.
You know what I heard millennials are taking all of? Avocados.
Yeah, well, you know, they don't have retirement funds, so let them have the avocados.
Avocado toast.
Look, I got my Warby Parker glasses, got my avocado toast, just leave me alone. I've got my crippling student debt. What you, I don't know what to tell you.
We all have some kind of crippling debt. America.
Wow. What even was that? You're just...
I don't know. All right. Last book that I read this week, I actually read, I caught up on Extremity. That's the majority of what I read.
Yeah.
I read, 8 issues today. Batman.
No.
This is we're drifting into my... Can you hold it?
I just want to...
Joel Jones
What's his
is
face?
back. He's arching up. He's looking up. He's like, Batman.
He looks like a cat, actually, in the,
meow.
Like, you know when you're making a BLT and your cat smells the bacon and they really want some?
I don't have a cat. I'm allergic to cats.
Get out.
So last issue, Batman and Catwoman, or Bat and Cat, as they like to call each other. Disclaimer, I like this book. I'm going to make fun of it a little bit.
Same. Yeah.
I actually love this little journey that they're on because they're going to get married. And
she's going to leave him at the altar. That's my prediction.
It could happen. So they meet up with Talia, the ex of Batman.
Whoa.
But they don't really reveal while they're in this, this desert area looking for Talia. You find out in this issue, you think that he's kind of just going to go beat up on Talia to finally marry Catwoman. That's what I thought was going to happen.
That's how you officially get divorced from Batman, is so you got to get jumped out of the marriage.
You have to have a sword fight with your ex, and then if you win, you can marry.
That would be great. Actually, I think we should change the laws to
Let's look into it. Let's call our representatives.
It doesn't look like Talia's having it, though.
She's not having it. There's a sword fight that happens towards the end that's pretty cool.
Is Cat allowed to help, or it's just you and your ex?
You have to read to find out. Something happens at the end.
Okay.
Yes, Thor Ragnarok is coming out this week.
It looks so good.
I think I'm going to go see it Thursday.
Well, aren't you fancy?
So there's Batman. The one issue... Oh, no, you go ahead.
Yeah, we both read this one, right? The Gravediggers Union. So, remember last week how we were all talking about how much we love Deadly Class? Who draws Deadly Class?
Wes Craig.
Right. So, it turns out that Wes Craig is a multi-talented individual. He's not just good at drawing, he's also good at writing things, and he's writing the Gravediggers Union, and I'm so excited about it because there's all kinds of monsters and ghouls, and it's right up my alley.
I love that the logo treatment is 80% of the cover.
Well, and also there's this neat, icon in the back.
Whoa.
I know.
That's tattoo worthy.
That's what I was saying. If you want your book to be a smashing success, you should come up with a tattooable logo that people will just, put right on, right over their hearts.
It's true.
Yeah. So, and Toby Cypress does some of the art. The first 5 pages, there is some Wes Craig art, and Nico Guardia on colors. And the colors are great. There's a lot of textures. It's very Matt Hollingsworthy. I love that. So the story is that the Gravediggers Union, they don't just bury people, but they also are responsible for keeping supernatural threats kind of under control, keeping them contained. And they don't happen every day. Once in a while, there will be a ghost storm disaster, or zombie attack on a mall.
Vampires.
Yeah, stuff like this. So, recently, though, there's an attack like every night, and they're harder to kill, and weird stuff starts happening, like the zombies talk to them, or there's like new monsters. They're like, what the heck is this? So this sort of like hard-boiled veteran of the Gravediggers Union's like, we gotta talk to the witches. And so he goes to his boss and he's like, can we talk to the witches? What the heck's going on? And they're like, no, it's against the rules. You cannot talk to the witches. And they're like, yeah, that sounds like what we're going to do. So there's other stuff going on. Like this character has like a sad backstory, and there are hints that that's going to come into play here, and that there's like just really like a wider conspiracy of bad stuff going on.
Makes sense. How come I've never heard of a movie or book about like the actual gravediggers being responsible for keeping the dead?
Right.
Dead?
Yeah. So the only thing I didn't understand is the very beginning, where there's like these ape men and they seem to be serving a very scary monster, and I hope that they explain what that is later
I feel
on.
like that's a prelude.
Yeah.
To something
It was
coming.
really super intriguing. So I hope that comes back into play somehow.
Trevor says the only gravedigger he knows is the monster truck. I loved Bigfoot. That was my truck. I think that was the blue one.
Call Buffy if they can't talk to the witches. So look at there's a preview, not a preview, but like I think that'll be the next cover maybe, and I think this is the witch, and she looks awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with her.
Oh.
I know.
That's it for this week, I think.
Witches.
What'd you do for Halloween?
I went over to my friend's house and we watched a scary movie and we ate Mexican food and candy.
What was the movie?
The Devil's Candy. Which
I think I've seen that.
we were like, did we just get tricked into watching like a Christian movie? Because like at the end of it, the guy like is definitely a metaphor for Jesus, but like not a very subtle one. And we were like,
Really?
yeah, Jesus saved Halloween. Who'd have thunk?
The ultimate savior.
Yeah.
Watch The Nightmare Before Christmas,
Ooh.
Trevor did.
Is that because you start celebrating Christmas like in October? Are you one of those?
We didn't really watch a whole lot of scary movies. We did watch the first part of the big Halloween two-parter from Ghost Adventures with Zach Baggins.
I don't know any of those words.
He's in his haunted museum with the haunted doll. He had like a medium. He had a witch, a white witch, a black witch, and they met at one point in the dungeon. They didn't like each other that much.
Beetlejuice is a Halloween movie. You know, my cat's name is Lydia after Lydia Dietz.
You heard it here first. That's actually not the first time, but...
So that Nightmare Before Christmas is like the perfect Trevor movie.
We're learning a lot about Trevor right now.
Halloween and Christmas.
Trevor, what did you dress up as for Halloween?
Yeah, did you guys dress up?
Hocus Pocus.
Do you follow Jen Vaughn on Twitter? She's an amazing comics creator, and she did the most amazing Sanderson sister costume that she posted all kinds of pictures. You should definitely check it out if you're a fan.
She's writing the next Goosebumps miniseries.
Yeah, she's very spooky. We love Jen Vaughn.
She's a cool cat.
Very cool.
Trevor's scrambling to let us know what he was for Halloween, but we probably got to get going. You know? We got to get back to work.
I don't want to go back to work.
Our real jobs that pays the bills.
I like this job. If they sent you enough Cheetos, maybe you could just live off that.
Yeah, I'll be on the lookout on my desk for some fiery hot Cheetos or Poofs, Puffs.
I need to eat something that
cheesy-
isn't candy. That's what I'm saying.
I'm 28. I dress up as me. Trevor,
That's scary.
Don't
That's
let
scary
the
enough.
dream die that you can't dress up at 28, 34.
What did you dress as?
I was a skeleton.
You were a skeleton. I saw pictures.
My wife and I, my son was Death, and my
Wow.
dog was Chewbacca.
That's a real...
We got the Chewbacca costume early on before we got our skeleton costume.
You know, you could have been Han, and your wife could have been Leia, and your son still could have been Death, and then you could have had Chewbacca.
Jeez Louise, that was the most morbid thing I've ever heard on this show.
Have you met me?
We're next level Lou Morbid.
Okay, guys.
All right. We'll see everybody next week.
See you next week.
Goodbye.